Yeah. You should go live your life. Just know that I'm gonna live mine. And you better not be all hype. You better not kill no vibes. Yeah.
Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me today. If this is your first time, hey, stop by, stay by, subscribe, okay? And if you're returning, you already know what's up. You already know I love you guys, and I thank you so much for your time and your attention. Yeah. So anyway, make sure you follow me on Instagram and Snapchat, and also I think that's it. But I was scrolling through my other nurse friends' snaps and also through YouTube world, and basically found a recurring topic which has been bothering me, so I really wanted to just share really briefly. So as you already know from the title, you're like, what? She hates her job, she hates being a nurse, why? Well, basically it all boils down to one thing, and which is nursing burnout. Yes. So basically what burnout means is that you are either physically, mentally, or emotionally burnt out from being a nurse. And that is such a common theme. And I know that we talked about it briefly in nursing school, and I was just like, oh, okay, that's not going to happen to me. But lo and behold, once after I believe 2.5 months of training in class and being shadowing someone and finally stepping on the unit, within about a month of me being by myself, I was just like, you know what, maybe nursing is not for me. This is just too much. Like Africans, as Nigerians will say, it's just too much wahala. It's just everything is just too much. And that's literally how I felt, almost to the point where I was just like, I really do not feel like getting up to go to work. Like, I don't want to see these people. I'm with these people for 12 hours. I just want to be by myself. Point blank. So why do people get burnt out? People get burnt out for a variety of reasons. Maybe it's your facility. Your facility is short on nurses. Your facility does not have enough staffing. Your facility does not provide you with the proper equipment. There's bullying in the workplace. Yes, there is. People just have stank attitude, and it's not a pleasant environment to work in. Not to talk of the patients. Oh my goodness. I feel like a lot of patients don't realize that in the hospital, especially being a nighttime nurse, you're not going to get a lot of sleep, okay? And it used to bother me a lot because as a nurse, we have to check in on our patient like every 2 hours, even when they are sleeping. And it used to bother me because I'm like, ooh, I don't want to wake them up. But then the reality set in that if I do not check up on you and God forbid you pass in your sleep, and I've had you in my care and I'm just now seeing that you've passed at 6 o'clock, not only is my license on the line, but I would not be able to live with myself, okay? Knowing that I had the opportunity to keep you alive and I just didn't want to because I wanted you to get rest. No, okay? So for me, even though it does bother, patients, I'm that obnoxious nurse flipping the sidelight on, looking, okay, you're alive, good, keep it moving. Because I don't want any questions being like, oh, you weren't rounding on your patients. No, we're not going to have that. And speaking of patients, like a lot of times, I don't know, I feel, especially on a med-surg floor, because a lot of people are like, oh, med-surg, not a specialty. Okay, come to my floor, handle 6 patients at the same time, tell me it's not a specialty. Please, please, I will hand you my patients there. Because, a lot of downplay is said on med-surg nurses, oh, they don't really do that much. Okay, they do a lot. We do a lot. I appreciate this time spent in med-surg. I personally, after working, I don't know if it's for me. I don't know if it's my niche, but it has been a tremendous learning experience. So when it comes to patients, sometimes patients can be exceedingly demanding as to you have 6 patients, one with a blood transfusion going on, one who's having respiratory issues, and then one patient who's just pissed literally because they did not get the right chips. Yes, you heard me. That happened to me. My patient was chewing me out because we did not, and I quote, have Lay's, Cheetos. This hospital does not supply with the adequate snacks. And I'm like, ma'am, patient in that room over there is barely breathing, and you coming to me charging me up for some Cheetos. Like, on some real stuff. I cannot make this up. Yes, sometimes patients tend to be ungrateful, and it used to really bother me. I'm like, bruh, I just waited hand and foot over you and you're coming to me, charging me up. But then I got to the point that I realized that it's not about me. It's really not about me. It's about the patient. And this may be the worst, the very worst position that they've ever been, the worst pain they've ever been in their entire life. And they're here now. So instead of me, fighting fire with fire, I'm going to just love on them. And that's really all I do. and dealing with these patients that are over demanding, just love on them. And then when it comes to myself dealing, I think it's so important to handle burnout with having coping mechanisms, coping strategies that are so important, because if you don't, you're gonna get burnt out quick. And to avoid burnout, like what I do for myself, I had to learn to compartmentalize. Yes. So once I work my 12-hour shift to give it the best I can, perform to the best of my ability, once I walk out, that's it. That's it. Just like in Chef Ramsay, once that timer goes out, that's it. You know, so I walk out knowing that I did the best that I could possibly do to keep my patients safe and to get them on the road to recovery, and then I leave. So learning to cope is just so important. And then you learn to compartmentalize, because you're adding too much stress to your load. Not only handling your own life, but the lives of other individuals. And at a point, it gets emotionally taxing. So you have to learn to leave work at work, leave home at home, and handle each at its own designated time. And then when it comes to other coping mechanism, I've learned that I need to de-stress. I need to find an area, an outlet. For me, it's working out, it's going to the gym, because that way I can get my frustration out without physically endangering someone intentionally, and I can really just release and just feel a lot better. To other people, it's, you know, listening to music, it's hanging out with friends, whatever your relaxed venting is also a good avenue. But be careful when you vent. Don't HIPAA violate nothing before you have a license no more. And just make sure you kind of like, you purge your feelings. Don't ignore, you know, your feelings. I remember my first time dealing with death, and I think I'll make a video about that. I don't know. Let me know what y'all think. Dealing with death for the very first time. After that, I had to literally purge myself of such that awful feeling of my first death. Absolutely awful. But if I did not purge that feeling and I did not handle it, then it would have just built up and built up and built up. Okay, another good strategy is take a vacation. Fly away, get away. It may not be to like another city, another area, just as long as it's away from your norm, you know, where you normally live 24 hours. Yeah, so I know I've taken a vacay, I mean, to Austin, you know, something a little real quick for the weekend, and then to LA, just different places, just to, you know, to breathe, to get you some me time, get your nails did, get your hair did, like, you know, get time to deal with yourself, to rest, recuperate, and come back ready for another, you know, set of 12s, rejuvenated, ready to be the best that you can be. Okay, so if you have other suggestions on how you deal with the burnout, how you deal with the stress that comes with nursing, go ahead, comment below, let me know. And that's it for the video. But be sure to check out my previous videos, you know, binge watch, feel free, comment. I love interacting with y'all. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
You know about me. That's why I